I'm traveling into one of the most historical towns in Tanzania, with this journey beginning in the stillness of the night, riding through the stretches of darkness with no clear plan, only the hope of discovering what the town itself would offer. There is something humbling about arriving in a place with nothing but curiosity, letting its streets, its people, and its story decide the path. Once a meeting point between Africa and the wilder world, it holds traces of centuries in its foods, its ruins, and its quiet corners. And so I walk into it slowly, open to whatever unfolds.
My phone is call. My phone.
Yeah.
Your call is phone. My phone. Your phone is call.
Sorry?
Nasema my phone. Your phone is call.
Your phone.
Yes, you. This phone
Yes.
is call.
I don't get you, brother.
Oh, okay.
You want to call someone on your phone?
Yes.
Yeah, you can call them. Let's just you take this.
Okay.
You take this, and you can drop me. You can drop me at the place where they are watching football.
Okay. Don't worry.
Yeah, you can take this.
Okay. Thank you too.
Upon arrival, the very first thing on my mind wasn't food or the history or anything else about Bagamoyo, but it was about finding the place to sleep. Because as a local traveler, I gave myself one rule for this trip, that in whatever case, I should not exceed the budget of 100,000 Tanzanian shillings. That's like about 42, 43 US dollars, and that is for everything: food, transport, accommodation, you mention it. Lucky enough, I was able to get a somehow decent guest house for about 20,000 Tanzanian shillings, and let me give you a tour of my spot.
Taking forever, man. I don't think it will be right. So this is okay, but I have to.
After the complicated night, morning, it's breakfast. Breakfast in Bagamoyo doesn't have to be complicated. It's just either chapati, mandazi, vitumbua, with some hot tea or some very nice coffee. It's very simple, affordable, and it was a perfect way to fuel me up for the exploration. So my very first historical stop of the day was the Caravanserai. Now, unfortunately, when visiting the Caravanserai Museum, I wasn't able to get inside and record the artifacts. Apparently, I made a very rookie mistake, so I told them that I was filming this for YouTube, and that comes with an extra cost that was way out of my budget. So if you ever get a chance to visit the Caravanserai Museum, just make something up on why you're filming whatever you're filming. Even though I couldn't get in, but I was lucky enough to meet a guy that went on and told me what lies inside, what's the story behind this very beautiful place. So this place played a very huge role in Bagamoyo's story. Now, the Caravanserai was basically a resting point for slaves and ivory caravans coming from the interior of Africa. So traders and porters would normally stop here to rest before reaching the Indian Ocean coast. So imagine people walking for months, carrying very heavy loads, and finally coming here to Bagamoyo to lay down their hearts before the stretch of another journey. Even though I didn't get what I was expecting, but my journey goes on as there is much more beautiful places to explore within the town of Bagamoyo.
So I wanted to film, but somehow they said I have to pay like.
Now this one is one of the most striking things you'll find in Bagamoyo. This is an old Arab building that looks completely abandoned today, but I can tell you that its walls have witnessed more than a century of history. This structure was built by Arabs in the 1860s, during that time when Bagamoyo was a key coastal hub for trade. After the Arabs, the Germans came in and actually used this place as a temporary state house when Bagamoyo was their capital. Later, after the independence in the late 1970s, the Tanzanian government took over the building. For a while it served official purposes, but then tragedy struck. So a fire accident damaged this structure, and since then it has been left abandoned and falling apart. The next gem was the Old Stone Town historical site. So this was built in the 1860s by a wealthy Arab businessman. Not long after that, the Sultan of Zanzibar admired its strategic location and demanded it to be handed over to him. From there, its history became even more intense. The site was later used as a slavery camp where enslaved people were kept before being shipped out to the island of Zanzibar and beyond. When the colonial powers arrived, the Germans took over the place, then followed by the British, and soon after Tanzania gained independence, the building's purpose kept on changing. It was at one time used as a jail, then later it became a police station, and in the late 90s it even functioned as a college. After years of changing its laws, the Old Stone Town was declared as a historical site, protecting it as one of Bagamoyo's most important heritage sites. From the Old Stone Town, this beautiful journey took me to one of the most iconic landmarks in this town, the German Old Boma. This was built in the 19th century, to be specific, the late 19th century. So this structure was the administrative headquarters of the Germans in Bagamoyo, which was their capital on the East African coast. But here's where things get really fascinating. Inside the old Boma lies a massive 7-ton iron trunk left behind by the Germans when they abandoned Bagamoyo. For over a century, nobody has been able to open it. The trunk has remained sealed and untouched, deliberately to preserve a part of Bagamoyo's living history. The German Old Boma is more than just a building. It's a symbol of colonial legacy. It's a symbol of power struggles and secrets that may never be revealed. Not far from the old Boma lies a quieter and yet very powerful reminder of Bagamoyo's colonial past. This is the German graveyard. Here, among weathered tombstones, rest the remains of German soldiers, missionaries, and officials who once lived and worked in this coastal town. If there is one thing that this place reminds us, is the fragility of human ambition and how even empires, once so very powerful, eventually fade into silence. Standing here, surrounded by stillness, you realize that history isn't only told through grand buildings or artifacts. Sometimes it whispers through forgotten graves. As my time was coming to an end on this beautiful coastal town, what was left for me to see was the influence of the Arab architecture on Bagamoyo. As you walk along the narrow streets, you'll notice the beautifully carved wooden doors with each design slightly different, almost like a signature of the family that once lived there. Of course, time has taken its toll. Some of the structures are well preserved, while others have crumbled into ruins, covered with vines and weathered by the ocean breeze. But even in their broken states, the ruins carry a certain beauty. They remind you of the centuries of history and the different cultures that passed through this beautiful town. As I leave, I carry with me not just the sights that I've seen, but the stories that have shaped this town. And I hope in sharing this, you've been able to catch a glimpse of this beautiful soul too. Until next time, this is where my journey pauses. Please subscribe.